Hey folks, welcome to what I would consider to be one of our first pre-tournament shows. You know, you see this in the sports world before a major sporting event. The analysts get together and they break down the big event, their predictions, how they would approach it all and all that. And that's what we're doing here today. I'm Michael, Rob. We have a well-accomplished, no stranger to the podcast and to the shop as well, Captain Arnie Arredondo. And he's here because you've been on the lake a long time. You've fished not only as a charter, but a long time tournament angler. You know what it takes to get out here and put together a box to compete. And so we thought it'd be great to have you here. And also, let's be clear, you're also not involved in this. So we don't want to stir the pot there. So we wanted to bring somebody from the outside in here and talk about this whole thing. We're excited about it. This year, the Big Pond Brawl Series, we expanded into 4 events for the year. It's all presented by Fish Hawk Electronics. We got some wonderful sponsors all involved in this: Salmon Candy Pro King, Dreamweaver, Amada Senior Care, Spruce Island Camp, Stinger, Blood Run. I mean, we had so many great companies that have been involved, and shout out to Aqua Traction Chicago as well. So here we are. We're sitting here on a Thursday. We've got the captain meeting right after we do this. Saturday is the first event, May 4th. It's a springtime event here. Let's dive straight into this. I'll ask each of you here, if you're in this tournament, how are you thinking about approaching it? Where do you start? What do you think your initial game plan is before you even get onto the boat?
I think what we're looking at, with this spring, the biggest thing about tournaments, the early ones are the toughest ones. Because you don't, like in this area, we're not seeing a lot of kings, we're not seeing a lot of lake trout, we're not seeing a lot of bigger fish. One of the reasons is everybody's coho fishing. So,
yeah. I
mean, that's the thing, the cohos are biting, everybody loves catching them, so what do? You coho fish. I think the biggest thing is gonna be the guy the team that figures out what the bigger fish are doing. And with the water being cold and there not being much of a break in it, that puts those big fish in a lot of places in the water column. I mean, they could be on the top, they could be on the bottom. It's pretty exciting because everybody's going to have in their head they're just going to run back and catch 5 cohos. Well, we won't try that. An easy fish to catch with an hour left doesn't sound. It sounds great sitting here, but come Saturday, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to find out that they just don't jump in the boat all the time. So, yeah, it's
especially not on a tournament day.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't want to get in the boat.
Everything that you found out Thursday, Friday, leading up to it Saturday is a whole different day. So, yeah, that's what makes tournaments great. I've been in so many captains meetings where I'm listening to everybody talk, and there's always a handful of guys that got it dialed in. They got these fish on a rope, and then come Saturday, that world comes tumbling down. You're not on plan B, you're on plan E. By 9:30 in the morning, you've thrown the playbook out, and everybody's scrambling. So that's what makes it a great fishing tournaments. And the great thing about this is you have four different time periods in the year. You better have all your tricks in your basket, day 1 to day 4. So it's great. The weather looks great, which is a little unusual.
Let's talk about that because of course, when we were first putting this together, we're thinking about that spring one. We were worried more than anything about this first one because it's early spring, and we all know that up to this point, it's been a brutal spring. The winds have been ripping. It's been hard for small boaters and kayakers like myself to get out there for quite a few days, where last year we were on the water a good amount already up to this point. Rob, here we are. The forecast looks decent right now. Things can always change, but right now it looks like things are lining up for us for this to be a full goal for all the boats to go out here. When you're thinking about how weather leading into Saturday is playing out, how would that inform your kind of fishing on the day, if anything?
It's looking good right now because what I'm seeing, it's not a lot of strong west winds leading up to it, so we don't have to worry about like that shallow water getting too clear or anything. So we should still have bait in close. There should still be bait around. We don't have to worry about it like freezing out. So I like that. And the nice thing about that dirtier water, that green water, I shouldn't say dirty, but it's that nice, good color. We should be able to get into brown trout in close. So if you don't see kings, if you're not finding kings, and you're having trouble fishing for lake trout, you can find areas with brown trout and shallow, and it should be good water clarity for it.
I think it's safe to say, Arnie, that it's going to take trout in your 5 fish. You can allot it up to 2. But is it safe to say that trout is what's going to be a deciding factor for the boats that get into the money?
You know, I would normally say yeah, but I you know, this time of year trout can be pretty funny. You know, they're not that stretched that they're on the bottom. The other thing is
Thanks, Rob.
When you see them suspended, a lot of times they're very difficult to catch for some reason. You know, I don't know why exactly. You know, obviously water's cold, but you know, I think there's going to be the hidden factors like what Rob brought up. There might be a brown trout bite. If someone's got some brown trout in a spot, or they know, you know, even though the brown trout have kind of been slowly disappearing here this last couple of weeks. You know, they were earlier in the month. They were, you know, in April they were getting caught pretty good. Now they kind of thinned down. I tell you what, I love it. I mean, it's setting up to be really exciting. You know, the wind is actually going to be light. They're calling for light wind. This is the first time there's been light wind. So that's going to change the mood of the fish a little bit. And like I say, those cohos that want to jump in the boat and commit suicide, they might not be so friendly come Saturday.
A little bit tougher.
You know, I just kind of glanced over the field and, you know, there's some guys that are going to pull some tricks out of the bag, you know, and see what they can do. You know, I'm not normally a guy that says, you know, I never discount anything, especially the Kings. There's Kings rolling around.
They are. I mean, I think they are the X factor in all this, right?
Yeah, and you know what? There's somebody we know that people have found kings, right? Like they're not talking. They found them already, but we know that they're not going to stick around.
Yeah.
Like this time of year, they're going to move. They found some bait in a little spot. They ate it. They moved on. They can be anywhere they want to be right now. Water's cold everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is pretty cool that we've seen some kings pulled earlier on in the southern end, pretty early, good size, you know, some 17-pounders, 24-pounders out of St. Joe, and a couple of random here and there. But I think for all intents and purposes, that is the X factor fish in all of this, right? Somebody's going to come in here with a 20-plus pound king probably.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Someone's going to, you know, it could be rolling around in 10 feet of water. Who knows? You know, it might hit it might have orange dodger and a peanut. You know, it always is. These are some of the most interesting tournaments, early ones, because you can put together, you know, a pretty good box, and one guy can destroy you with just that one stroke of luck. But I think there's going to be a lot of guys, or not a lot, but there's going to be guys that are going in all directions from all these ports. That's the other thing, you know, talking about 35 miles of shoreline.
Yeah, and that's the exciting part about this is, you know, we set it up so that guys can fish out of 4 ports. So that adds another layer of strategy to this plan. So let's bring this back to you, Arnie. You're fishing Saturday. What port are you fishing out of? What would be your game plan? What would you try to get in the box? You know, if you had it your way, what would be the plan?
You know, what I would have done already, or what I'd be doing today and tomorrow, I probably would shy away from my home port. I'd probably leave Kenosha. Oh. I would probably think south. That would be that thing, because, you know, it's early and they're coming. You know, a lot of the fish are coming out of that deep water more to the south than they are to the north. The funny thing is, Port Washington's been creating
and Milwaukee, they would get in Milwaukee too. So I was going to say, would that shift your game plan?
Now, you know, that's why I say I would probably have already, you know, taken a look to the south. And, you know, these guys that are pre-fishing, I've seen, you know, some guys I know they're out already the last few days. You know, normally I tend to go like out of Waukegan or out of North Point here. But I think a part of me would be drawing me a little bit back to the north, just because, number one, we got, you know, great brown trout structure. The thing is, those browns were up in Milwaukee and they bugged out of there pretty good. Mm-hmm. So you never know. I think it's you know, it's going to be the guy that does his homework. Yeah. He knows that there's some bites here. The Kings, I think any place is a fair place for a king to be caught, a good one. Yeah. But I think the other ones are going to be there's a lot of box to check. I bet there's a lot of fuel burn the last couple of days, and a lot of fuel going to be burned tomorrow.
I believe you're right. Trying to figure out what might be kind of setting up, where they might be, the mood of them, and all of that stuff. If you are trying to wet a line for a king out there, right? What's on that line? What would you fish this time of year?
You know what? I'd be right back to my summer program. I'd be looking at, summer flashers, flies.
Okay, this early too. Huh?
Now of course, luckily for me, my network's pretty big. I know what happened over in Michigan City last weekend, and I know there were some kings caught. And I know what they're caught on, and it's that would be kind of my direction on some of it. Their biggest thing is taking a chance, taking some time and looking. When you pre-fish, everybody thinks you're trying to find a plan. This is where I'm going. Most of the time, I'm trying to rule out where I'm not going, so I'm not wasting time and I'm taking it out of the plan. And then you start to put you start putting your plan together. Like I said, the plan always goes south pretty fast on tournament day. But yeah, I think this one right now, man, all the ports have the same chance. North Point's got some good spots. Kenosha's got some good spots. And then take the other two. Those would be the ones that you would think of most. Racing, I would not have thought of it if you asked me this,
about a week
December,
ago.
or even just, in December. I would have said, no, I'm going out of Waukegan. But right now, I don't want to rule it out. Those fish came out, and they're already pretty far north. The Cohos are there. There's a couple big silver ones chasing.
A couple of days, they just showed up out of nowhere, way up north. Yeah, it is interesting. Rob, what do you think? We're going to be here. We'll be broadcasting tournament day, the weigh-in. Let's talk about what's that number? What's the box number minimum in your best guess here that's going to take for people to cash out?
I'm going to say 55 pounds.
55?
Yeah.
All right, Arnie, what do you think?
What's funny is a couple of guys that I always joke around, you say, I went to the scale, and you went to a gunfight, you showed up with a plastic fork. And my brain would tell me a little bit less than that, but every time I do that, there's, like you say, there's been some big kings. I think it's going to be a little bit less. I think it's going to be like that 48, 46, 50, right in that range. But I think we're right in that, that 9-10 pound per fish.
That'll carry a long way, right?
Look at the Cohos. The Cohos are good size.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you have to throw a Coho in there, hopefully you got a little bump of a Coho with a pound on them more than a normal one. So, I think that we're looking at that. I think anywhere like that 9-10 pound average is going to be maybe a little under 10 pounds, but it's going to be close.
I think so. I think that's what's going to make it interesting is when it comes to the weigh-in, we're weighing within pounds of each other, you know. And that's where I think it's going to be really exciting. And I thought to myself 45. I think 45 was where I was thinking about. I was talking with some other folks the other day. I was like, I think 45 is that number. North of that, you start hitting that range, could put you in some money. You know, be able to walk out with some money. Speaking of money, let's not forget that Spruce Island Camp guaranteed $1,000 minimum payout for the big fish. I'm really excited to see what that's going to be. Is it going to be that king that someone stumbled on? Is it going to be a big laker or big trout near shore? It's going to be one of those three, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone's going to be walking out of here with a fat check just for catching a big fish. On top of the incredible payouts we have for the first, second, third, paying out 20% of the field, I believe it is. So quite a few spots down we're paying. It's pretty good. 50 boats we hit for our first one. So thank you all for participating. I was really excited to have that. And for those that are in the series route, which I believe we're north of 40, is it north of 40 boats, Rob? Just over 40?
Yeah, I think we have a little over 40 for the whole series.
So for those boats, this is the first tournament, sets the tone for the rest of the year. We're really excited to see how that's going to play out. We got the May one, and we got June, and we take off some time. We got Salmonorama. Guys are going to go crazy doing that. Then we come back in August for that real summertime experience. It's going to really set apart a lot of experienced anglers there. And I'll tell you what, I know you like the spring one. The one that I'm looking forward to is the September one. I really think that's going to be really cool. You don't often see a September tournament. We all know that it is essentially a king-driven thing, but guys can play it different ways, right? You can fish up close, or you can go out and get silver, younger maybe, or fish that haven't came in just yet. So you can kind of go after Lakers too. So I'm looking forward to how this all plays itself out. But you heard it here from Rob and Captain Arnie, their kind of thoughts on how they would approach it, their kind of predictions, myself included. We're looking forward to seeing you guys here Saturday. We broadcasting live the weigh-in here at Lake Michigan Angler. You guys get to see all the folks bringing in their boxes, see how they do. We're also going to sit down with the top policing boats and speak with their captains about what they did. That's going to be the fun part, to see what exactly they did out there. And so all of that, you guys can watch it all on our YouTube channel at Lake Michigan Angler TV. We'll also stream it over on our Facebook at Lake Michigan Angler. Make sure you guys are subbed up and stay posted for those videos. Again, big thank you to this year's title sponsor, Fish Hawk Electronics, year 2 with us, supporting us. Make sure you guys check them out, as well as all of our other fantastic sponsors here: Pro King, Stinger, Model Senior Care, Salmon Candy, Aqua Traction of Chicago, Blood Run, all a part of this, helping to make this and support our local salmon community here. It's a great time. So we look forward to seeing you here, Captain Arnie. Thank you for making the time to come here and do this with us. We're a little pre-tournament show, doing things a little differently here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let us know if you did below by dropping a comment. And let us know what you think that weight is going to take to get into the money. Drop it down below in the comments. Do you think it's 40, 50, 60 or more? Let us know, and we'll see you guys on tournament day.